Do I really ever want to find the best gear or the perfect sound? I've been thinking.
Oh no, he's thinking again.
Hi, I'm Bob, and you are back at United States of Analog World Headquarters, HQ. How you doing out there? I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. I'm coming at you late at night because, I've been doing some thinking. So I guess this is going to be a think piece.
Yeah, it's a think piece.
Now, I don't know how you feel about think pieces or editorials, but sometimes you just can't sleep at night until you get it out of your system, and that's what I'm going to do today. I'm just going to lay it out there, 10 o'clock on a Friday night. The question I'm going to pose is, do we really ever want to find the ultimate gear, the ultimate amplifier, the ultimate set of speakers, the best sound? Is that something we really want, or is it something we want to keep striving for? Something we want to keep at arm's length? Because does perfection really exist? I don't know. It's kind of messing up my mind a little bit. Like in relationships, we always talk about the chase. Sometimes that's the best part. But I'm getting ahead of myself. First, let me say we are getting dangerously close to 30,000 subscribers here at United States of Analog. And if you could just take a couple seconds to hit that subscribe button and get me there just a little bit quicker, I would really appreciate it. It's a big milestone for me and one I've been looking forward to. And thanks for being a part of this community. Now, this whole thought process about the best gear and the best sound has been nagging me for some time now, ever since I began this channel. And it really hit home the other day when I was wrapping up part 2 of the fantastic Billy Joel documentary. I think it's on HBO, or whatever HBO is called these days. It really is an in-depth, good 2-part documentary. It's going to be 4 or 5 hours of your life you're probably never going to get back, but I think it's well worth it if you like classic rock, Billy Joel, or anything adjacent to that. Now, as soon as that documentary was over, I wanted to hear The Stranger. It's the only Billy Joel album I've really kind of enjoyed start to finish. I think it's a masterpiece. I think Rolling Stone named it the 66th best rock album of all time. And I pulled out the 3 copies that I own. I've got an original Japanese CBS CD of The Stranger here. The jewel case is kind of chewed up. I have a very early copy, if not a first press, of Billy Joel, The Stranger from the year it was released. And I recently went to Barnes & Noble and picked up this. This is the only copy they had, 50th anniversary. I was already kind of up in the air about it because a lot of the graphics are different. The type is a little bigger here. It's not super authentic to the original. You've got this hype sticker. And then, this is not the red Columbia label that it was initially issued on, and things like that. But it's all I could find. And to be honest with you, my OG first press is pretty poppy and clicky. Despite how many times I ultrasonically clean it, it's just never going to sound great. But I went down that rabbit hole that night. I was trying to figure out which was the best version. Even as I was listening, I was on my phone scrolling through Steve Hoffman forums to try to determine which album, which CD was the best sounding. I was doing a lot. I was doing everything but listening to the music. And I was doing myself a disservice. I was doing the artist a disservice. And I really went down this rabbit hole of matrices and scribblings in the run-out groove. I kind of disgusted myself. And all along I was thinking, I don't even know if this record is particularly well recorded. I know Phil Ramone produced it, and I know it's a great album, but I don't know if even initially it was audiophile quality. So was I trying to extract something that wasn't even there? And on top of that, does it even matter? Now, some of you are going to say it does, and some of you are going to say music first, and I don't know yet. And that's why I wanted to explore this. At the same time, I got a couple of comments on one of my videos that kind of also address this issue. So for the first time ever, let's go to the United States of Analog mailbag. Triumph Lover writes, "Hey bud, I'm a Canadian subscriber." And we're not going to hold that against you, by the way. "And I appreciate your personal spin and take on the hobby as well as your branding. Where I skip over you over some other reviewers is your light on high-end pieces or statement pieces from established brands. Because even if most viewers can't afford those said pieces, audiophiles aspire and dream of them. Anyway, all the best. Cheers, Triumph Lover." And this was my reply. "Hi, Triumph Lover. Thanks for the notes. I can only talk about what I've experienced in some way. I really can't even count audio shows because as critical listening experiences, they really lack. I'm a young channel and I don't get much access to high-end stuff yet. I hope that will change as my subscription base grows. I actually had a face-to-face with a big player today. Fingers crossed. At the end of the day, like you, I'm a simple man. I get more excited when I discover something that punches above its weight class, since most of us don't have the scratch for super high end. And we continue our mission to achieve that high-end experience on some kind of budget. Being a billionaire and buying the best, well, where's the sport in that? Don't sleep on my channel. I'll get there." Yeah, that's always been kind of my vibe. Bang for the buck. Mainly because I can only afford what I can afford. I get to hear some stuff occasionally at shows, but to be honest with you, sometimes those systems, tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, don't hit like I think they're gonna hit. So it gets me wondering where the actual sweet spot is. Let's talk more in a minute. Let's read another letter. Red Wave Coming 2 writes, "He talks way too much. Switching to other vids." That's not very nice, is it? See, that's what I get for wanting to run that letter animation I just made on Canva twice. That's just stupid. All right, forget about that. Let's go back to the first comment because he brings up some interesting points, and it really did get me thinking, do I really, even if I have all the money in the world, do I really want the best equipment? Do I ever really want to achieve the best sound? Or do I want to keep on searching for it, lusting for it? What is the end game? Should there be an end game? It's getting late and my brain is getting fuzzy, but I think you know what I mean. I'll give you a good example. I started a watch collection a couple of years ago because I don't have enough hobbies already. And recently for our anniversary, my wife surprised me with this Omega Speedmaster. Now, I've wanted this watch since I was like 11 years old. And when she gave it to me, I was so excited and so happy, and I'm so proud to own it. But on the other hand, it's kind of stopped my collecting. What is there to collect now? I have one of the best. Well, you know I'll probably keep collecting, and it's the same with audio. But in a way, I think when you do achieve that lofty status of the best, the ultimate, the ultra, your journey kind of ends and it's not as much fun. I think, at least in this stage of my life, I want to experience a lot of different sounds. As I talk about very often, different flavors. I love having different pairs of speakers around the house that I can plug in to get a different vibe, a different sound, more detail, less detail sometimes. And that's more exciting to me than dipping into my bank account and getting something that someone else says is the ultimate in sound. Is it really? Will we ever really know? Is it even important? What is the ultimate in sound? I want to hear all the sounds. I want to taste all the flavors. I want to have equipment in my arsenal that affects me emotionally. I don't necessarily need the bragging rights. I don't necessarily have to one-up somebody. I often hear audiophiles say, I want to hear what the artist intended. Well, I have to laugh a little bit at that Even though I've probably said that myself a few times on this very channel, but maybe I'm laughing at myself. How do we really know what the artist intended? How do we even know if the artist cared? I bring up the case of the Beatles all the time, who went out for a cup of tea or maybe something stronger while George Martin was doing the stereo mixes of their records. They just didn't care. They had already heard the mono, they laid it down, and that was enough. The other stuff was just a novelty. You know, we say we want to hear what the artist intended. We get this great gear sometimes to hear the mistakes in the mastering, in the recording. Did the artist intend for us to hear those mistakes? I wonder. And sometimes, are we trying to extract something from a recording that isn't even there? So why waste our money? It's just something to think about. I think in today's hi-fi audiophile world, there's a lot of great equipment at really reasonable prices, and we're paying those thousands more for just a small increment, a small percentage of improvement. And maybe sometimes it's too much improvement. We're getting too much information, too much detail, too many of the mistakes. And again, I'll say, and I'm guilty of this myself, sometimes we forget to actually listen to the actual music. This isn't a criticism. This is a journey. We're all going through something. We're finding our own way, and we all have different ways of thinking about it. I'd be interested to hear how you think about it. How do you feel about all of this? Are you searching for an ultimate piece, a grail? If you have a grail, put it in the comments, and let me know in the comments what you think about this. Is the chase more exciting than obtaining that grail? Is it more important to have more flavors in sound to listen to? Or should you just search for that one system, that one pair of speakers, that one amplifier that is going to change your life? Maybe. Now it's possible that this is just some form of sour grapes on my part, because I know I'll never have enough money to have a $100,000 system, a $250,000 system. That's not going to be possible. But I wonder, even if I did, if that system every day would bring me the joy that I think it would. I don't know, and I may never know. But I just know that sometimes I go out and get a piece of gear that punches above its weight, and it just feels so good. It feels so good when it over-delivers and gives you something in that music that you never heard before, and you didn't pay that much for the privilege. I think that's where it's at. Maybe I should have called this channel something else. I don't know. I can't think of a better title now. But you know what I mean? It's that's where I get a lot of the satisfaction. Where do you get your satisfaction? Please put it in the comments below how you feel about this perfection versus versatility and economy. I think those are the right words. I'm not sure. It's very late, and to that end, it's good to be here. I promise you my next video is going to be gear driven, but I just had to get this off my chest. I don't know if I made a lot of sense, but it's really not important. But I know there's a video that YouTube has selected for you to watch right now, if you've got a couple more minutes, that does make more sense, and it's going to pop up right here any second, right in this quadrant right here, this imaginary rectangle. It's going to pop up. I want to thank you for being here in the United States of Analog. If you enjoy my channel, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time right here, United States of Analog. Ciao.